Our next presentation will be by Tony Acqueva, CEO of US Mortgage, and Tony will be presenting on financing real estate acquisition for the Caribbean diaspora and the Americans, Financing real estate acquisition for the Caribbean diaspora and Americans. And I will briefly introduce Tony to you. Tony Acqueva, is the president and CEO of NP Incorporated, also known as US Mortgage, with operations in multiple states and soon to be Premier Mortgage Associates. Built on a desire to offer clients competitive pricing, comprehensive products and programs, and serve them led to the start of NP Inc. Since the inception of the company in 1996, a culture of service has been the staple and backbone of the growth, with numbers of employees and continually practicing core values, integrity, transparency, innovation, and trust that have allowed the service goals to soar. Tony's goal and mission is to continue striving to empower advancement in technology, compliance, and create a healthy, safe, and desirable employee experience, which sets this company apart from other mortgage companies and allowing them to provide the ultimate financing experience. Ladies and gentlemen, now we receive Tony Acqueva, CEO of US Mortgage.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here. I've noticed over the past couple of days, listening to the participants and the speakers, that there is a common theme present. It's one that should be motivational for each of us, and that is that everybody seems to have a similar cause, and the cause is to serve a specific cause. That is extremely motivational for me because I started my career in banking and I worked for the big banks. And in doing so, there was a consistent mantra within the big banking institutions, and that is profitability, protocols, procedures, and politics. And rarely was there dialogue relative to service and serving one another. And each of us here seems to have a common denominator, of which that is to serve. So congratulations to each of you who are here. I don't have my clicker, so I apologize. Cannot click forward. Nope, there we go. Thank you. So 25 years ago, I started a company called NP Inc., founded on the principle, no problem. I would figure it out. I would find a way to serve you and create opportunity for everyone. And that is the founding principle for NP Inc., which is now in 48 states and $5 billion a year in business. But in an effort to continue serving, we wanted to create a company that offered a multitude of opportunity. And we started with the idea that we needed to be very technologically advanced. And with that, we merged with a company called, hold on one moment, SimpleNexus. Just to give you an understanding of the technology that we've created, we allow each individual to apply for and participate in their role in their mortgage process from their phone, right through an application. The client is able to take the application, thank you, download the client's approval, watch the process as it goes from stage one all the way to the closing. With that, we've also merged with a company called AIQ, and we've partnered with them in an imaging system. And the imaging system allows the documents to be snapshot from your phone, uploaded into the system, categorized in accordance with the way we have outlined that it should be categorized. And it reminds the consumer or the borrower of anything additional that's needed that perhaps they may not have already sent us. And it has a constant reminder in it until all of the documentation is calculated. In conjunction with that, we created an AMC, which is an appraisal management system, so that as we migrate from state to state and/or country to country, we have the ability to monitor the value of the people we're using, the quality of the product, and the efficiency in which it is turned into us. All of this enhances the experience for both the consumer and engages our employees in providing a better level of service. So a few years ago, I was asked to come up with an opportunity for Costa Rica. Costa Rica is the largest country that Americans seem to gravitate toward right now. There was a tremendous need for Costa Rica to be part of the American process. So I took upon myself to engage in providing financing for Costa Ricans. So we created a fund. We handle all of the processing. We handle all of the underwriting. We actually even service the loans. And we have a fund who now purchases those loans. We anticipate that over the next 3 to 4 years, this will be literally $1 billion in opportunity in mortgage servicing product. So it was about a year or so ago that I got a phone call from Rafael, and he was noticing what we did and that we were active in moving outside of the United States and moving into other opportunities and areas. And he asked if we could do the same for the Caribbean. So we did some research, and we found there are 8.5 million plus Caribbean Americans and diaspora out there who want to purchase property here, but the opportunity isn't really advantageous. In the Cayman alone, there is over $1 billion a year in 2021 last year in mortgage opportunities. In Mexico, over 1.6 billion. And just to put it in perspective for you, in the Turks and Caicos, there is 158.5% increase in sales of property. It's tremendous. So now we have this opportunity. From that came Landman Finance. Landman Finance the Caribbean. We've taken the time to do the research and figure out how do we best serve the Caribbean community. Just like we had to do in Costa Rica, we had to figure out the laws, we had to figure out the principles, we had to create the documentation, and we are and have done the same for the Caribbean. And we're hoping to create opportunity for all of you to venture out and create revenue streams for the country, create opportunity for the people who wish to be here, and far better than they would be able to get from a bank within their own communities. I personally have made an effort to hire people from different countries. It's more important for us to best understand when we work with the people. Our controller at the company is Jamaican-based. She's amazing. We are thrilled to have her, and we are looking to hire more and more people from other countries to help us and enable us to grow and expand. We would like to end up having Landman worldwide. So I shared with you what we've done in Costa Rica. I've shared with you what we anticipate doing here in the Caribbean. We've proven that it works in Costa Rica, and the future is ours to behold. But most important, if you don't remember anything from this summit, just realize and recognize the importance that your service is. We all live very blessed lives, and we have a commitment to serve one another. We are all people of the same world, and it is in our best interest to do what we have to do to make sure each and every one of us is properly served. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tony, for sharing with us what I believe, and I'm convinced, is going to be a game changer for the Caribbean. And I would love to hear more as we prepare now to dive into the panel discussion, which will be moderated by His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Andre Thomas. Dr. Thomas, please come forward. Panelists will comprise of Raphael De Angelis, Tony, Mr. Lovell, Lord Roberts, Dr. Lester, and Patrick Tanis. Is Patrick here?
Now, this is game changing. I am so excited about Landman Finance. So excited about it because of what the level of development is going to trigger is going to be phenomenal. And I'm just so excited to really get going. Yeah, this is now this is the type of project that you smile when you wake up in the morning to go work on projects like this. So yeah, so this is really, really fantastic. So let's really go through the details of this. Now, how can men and women that work within the real estate sector, because we do have people from the real estate sector that are here. We have many that are watching virtually all over the Caribbean. Our virtual participation on this session is the highest because we have Bahamas, we have Jamaica, we have Guyana, we have Turks and Caicos, all the islands, all because I spoke to many real estate associations all over the region. So they're watching here. So yes, they're watching. And how can they participate? Yes.
Actually,
Yeah, it is.
thank you. We've made it rather simple. Tony has put together an online link that you can reach, and once you download and watch the video, you'll be able to link right in, and it will allow you to interact with me directly and participate immediately.
Wow, absolutely. So what he's telling you is that, okay, so we have a link. And Tony, where's the link? The link is on the website. So we have a website, landmanfinance.com. Wow, that is awesome. So that website is operational now. You can go watch the video and you can also download the link. On the link, there is a section for partnership in terms of real estate. And you can click it. And when you click it, you can go straight to the office. And we'll be excited to hear from you and let you know how you can cross-sell. Okay, Raphael.
You know, the reason I reach out to Tony is because I hear a lot the governments in the Caribbean saying how they would like diaspora Americans or foreigners to come to the Caribbean and establish a home here or work remotely. But without you creating a system that makes it easy for them to finance their homes, without you providing the service, which Tony is so good at it, in making that relationship and that experience pleasurable to go through, the chances of succeed decrease.
That's right.
And we're looking for the person in the US that could provide, that made that a priority. And Tony was the person, his company, his philosophy is in the core of the value of everything that we believe that a mortgage service provider should be. And it's a matter of really create that partnership with Landman, represent Landman as a service provider on your loan service. And we funnel the clientele from the US, whether it's coming from you, whether it's coming from us, we're both gonna work together into bringing millions of people interest into the Caribbean region. And that now we have a platform that we can all participate and engage into bringing the flow in. And we have the best company that we could possibly think of into allowing that to happen. And that really was the objective of launching Landman. So.
Yes, wonderful. Okay, Dr. Lester, you've worked in mortgages, and tell me what you're thinking about this.
Wow. 3 letters, wow. Because one of the things is, when I started out in New York City, I started out into construction. And there was a period that financing for renovation was difficult. So what I had to do, I had to get into walking the streets, looking at doors, and trying to get people financing to get some equity to do the renovation work. And in moving around the streets, I realized that a lot of people, they wanted to build something back home. And that's when I got into a little mortgage origination, and we'll find those people and carry them to the office and do the application. But now with this opportunity released to the Caribbean, it's game changing, because I can't tell the thousands of people that I've heard who want to come back to the region or have some presence in the region. And it's not like they're just any and everybody, but they have decent credit. Which I'm now waiting to hear how does credit play a role into them purchasing in the Caribbean here.
Well, I can tell you about that. We are about to become the largest non-QM lending institution in the United States, which is, simply put, non-traditional product. So your regular and typical traditional product that's sold to the governmental agencies is rather restrictive in its requirements, and we have engaged ourselves in making a conscious effort to become one of the largest and soon to be the largest non-QM lending institution in the country.
Wow.
Wow. Well, I must say, that alone, I believe any realtor or anyone who is in the real estate space, I believe that's like having a 10-course meal, because we're ready. We're ready and waiting for this market. I believe this market has been, I heard Raphael talk earlier when I was launching a conference, a Golden Triangle. But I don't know how many sides now in the real estate aspect. I think we have passed the triangle stage, because every country can be impacted with this product, and I am grateful that it's coming this way.
Very good. Okay, Lord Thomas, what's you thinking?
Well, I won't use wow again, but I don't think many of us realize the significance of what that represents as a game changer for the entire region. Let me paint you a bit more of the picture in a perspective. One of the number one reasons why progress was hindered, you see, development or urbanization is a sequential. And for it to happen, one thing connects to the other. But the triggering point is always the key. And people move to a place because they have a need, or there is a reason, or there is a benefit. Even though people enjoy the sunshine and the beaches, there wasn't enough motivation to go and having to purchase or expose themselves totally. This represents the elimination that you said is 8.5 million from the US. I would say that's a bit conservative, because Miami alone has about 3 million Jamaicans, but that's a different story. That does not include the other 3 million that is in Toronto, by the way, okay? And if we add Europe to that, these are people who are based there but wanting to return.
Absolutely.
And the domino effect that this represents is because now developers who would not come into the region based on the fact that there was no exit for them, because that's the first thing they looked at. So the Rialto job, bless you, my brother, I don't know how you did it, would have been a nightmare how to convince anyone that there would be progress. With this, I mean, I don't think it's by chance the name Aquaviva is what Tony carried, because that means he's bringing some life into the place. And I really like the flow that represents.
Very
That is
good.
what I would have to say.
Okay, so let's hear from Mr. Hal Lovell as a former Minister of Finance.
Thank you.
Yes.
The unlocking of this enormous potential is what I find most attractive. And by that, I mean, apart from being able to get financing to come back to the Caribbean or to engage in real estate transaction of any type, I look at it from a broader perspective. As small islands, we tend to limit the definition of our populations to those who physically reside in the island, on the island.
Okay.
But there's a concept that we've been promoting, which is to say that nationhood is more than a physical location. It is a psychological reality. And so we have a lot of Caribbean people, and speaking for Antigua and Barbuda, we have a lot of Antiguans and Barbudans who lack that nexus between where they are and where they're from. And I see this as creating that bridge, which will allow us to release the potential that resides overseas, but where the heart is still back home. And that means the tremendous intellectual potential, the financial capacity, the humanitarian connection that exists. This provides that link that many Caribbean people have been really longing for. And so when we define nationhood, we try to see it as including all persons whose heart and whose psychological moorings are back home. And by being able now to purchase a home, to join with others in transactions, there's so much potential that is released. And it will add to the whole concept of building the nations, not as physical locations, but the psychological connection that we need. This will certainly be that bridge and will help to propel the Caribbean in terms of how we see ourselves going forward and our ability to attract more of our nationals back home, not necessarily to be living permanently, but to provide that connection that they need in order to continue to love and help to develop their native lands.
That's right.
You know, when we looked into a business concept with Tony about Landman, the idea is not only for the American resident or citizen to do this with us, but also the regional developer. A regional developer now can go into landmanfinance.com and sign up to become a Landman partner, which means that we associated your development itself with a mortgage service provider for American citizens and American Caribbean infrastructure. So that is pretty big, because without financing, most of those transactions are not going to happen. So it is that partnership between developer and landman, the partnership between realtor and landman, that we are offering for the Caribbean region. So it is up now to the Caribbean people that really has a difficult time position their real estate portfolio with people that can buy them to reach out to us and seek that partnership. And we'll figure it out, Tony will figure out how can that partnership can be enhanced, improved, and grow. So this was a complaint that we always heard, and here's the solution. Now the developer has a place to go, the realtor agent has a place to go, and the consumer, the buyer, has a place to go. And once we all get them together, we start exchanging, flows of sales across the platform.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let me reiterate. So if you are a developer, if you are a buyer, if you are a real estate agent, you can go to landmenfinance.com. And all the information will be there, and the link that you can use to connect with the main office will be there. Okay, that's very good. Okay. Now, yes, one of the things we're going to be doing is that we are going to be actually working with governments and working with diaspora organizations around the USA and also around the Caribbean in getting this message through to the diaspora community all over the USA. And so we're going to be doing that. So if you want to get in contact with us and you want us to speak to your group, if you want us to share this information with your group, you can get in contact with us at leadershipaccessconference.com, or you can actually get in contact with us if you go to our page at upturnfunds.com and they send us your information. We are available to speak to your groups. We're available to speak because there's so many diaspora organizations. The Antiguan Association, the Trinidad Association, the Turks, there's so many of them, and we're going to be talking to all of them. And so I'm very, very excited about this. Okay, well, I will give the last words to Dr. Lester, because Dr. Lester represents the group that we're trying to reach. He is a returning national. So he's American, but he's also Guyanese. And he decided he's going to live in New York with his wife and move back to the Caribbean. And it's obviously the Caribbean now has his brain, his experience. And I believe this, as Minister Lovell said, that this is going to reverse part of the brain drain, because there's a brain drain. But now you have individuals that have developed their capacity can now add value to their countries of origin, because now they can get property there. So it's going to create a ripple effect of development on so many areas that it's truly now game-changing. Okay, so I'll leave the last words to you. Yes, okay.
I must say, thank you, sir. I believe that what we have seen throughout our tenure here at this summit, and to now have what Tony has just presented, it's like building a house where you have all of these blocks and pieces, but you need a cement. I believe what have been done here today with Tony's presentation, it's the cement that holds everything together. Because now you can think in development on such a large spectrum as some have alluded to, the level of humanitarian that can begin to happen, because now people have a stake in what's happening in their countries, and so many connecting pieces. Like, for example, my brother just went to Guyana a couple of years. He's going every 2 months and so forth. But he wanted to purchase a property. In my family alone, constantly, right now we have over 50 people ready to purchase property. but the navigating that water is so difficult because sometimes you have to deal with financial laws and all of these stuff and moving money over water. But now there's such an opportunity that is beyond par, so to speak. So I'm so happy for what I'm hearing today. The construction industry, it's gonna boom because now there's a way to now build at a faster rate because finance is not a hindrance. One of the other things that I'm seeing gonna happen, I must say I love my country, Guyana, because with what's gonna happen, we're gonna be seeing the Dubai of the Caribbean. But now from that place and with what Honorable has been talking about, I'm so gracious for this conference. This conference, I've been to tons of conferences. I've seen a lot of stuff in my short life, but none like this. So I must give credit to Ambassador Thomas. We truly honor you, sir, and Raphael. We really thank you for what you're doing here. And with that, I said, speaking on behalf of everyone here and everyone looking, real estate, finance, infrastructure, agriculture, it's a new world. And I will dare to say, it's now one Caribbean, and you guys have put it together.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Well, we'll now hand over to our Master of Ceremonies. Okay, thank you.